Hi, my name is Lisa Freitag. I'm an agile coach and release train engineer at BSH Home Appliances based in Munich, Germany. Today, I want to showcase how we utilize Jira software and Miro, specifically Miro Jira Cards integration, to support our agile release train and team collaboration on a daily basis, but also give you a little insight in how we utilize the two platforms to support our regular program increment planning. The way I'm going to do this is to show you two different demo instances that I prepared with what our regular setup looks like, because of course I cannot show you live data, but you will get a pretty good insight into how this usually looks like in BSH. First off, let's start in Jira software. What you can see is our Agile Release Train Level Jira project. We do keep all of the main deliverables demands within one shared Jira project to create full transparency for any customers, stakeholders, people that want to quickly get an idea of what's in scope for the current program increment, what's the status of work, and what the different teams are working on. So within the specific PI status program board, you can see we have a couple of issues on the release train level. If I go down, there's dedicated swim lanes for each of the teams that are working on PI deliverables, strategic initiative contributions, and creating transparency on where they are within the program increment. Right now, we are in PI 2022.4, so still closing off the last year. If I click on the quick filter at the top, you will be seeing the things that were put in scope during the last PI planning. So those are marked with the fixed version for the current ongoing PI. And as I said, on the release train level, we keep the key deliverables as epics, issue type epic. And if I open one of those deliverables, you will see that the team level work that is kept in their respective dedicated Jira projects is linked as user stories into those epics to, again, create transparency, but allow for more flexibility for each of the teams to have their dedicated workflows and set up in their own Jira project. So this is day-to-day business. Once it comes to the actual PI planning preparation, this is, especially as a PM or product owner, we would switch into our backlog in Jira. And in this case, we're working with versions to, and based on the fixed version field, to clearly identify the scope for each program increment. If I now click on the version, so this is the version for the upcoming program increment that we started preparations for, you will be seeing that the epics that the teams put in scope or incoming customer demands are already there as epics. If it's clear that they will be in scope for the next program increment, they already have the respective fixed versions, and thus we can have an easy overview of what kind of input will go into PI planning. Jira software for us especially allows for proper tracking of the work, creating transparency, but of course, once it comes to the actual PI planning, we have 2 days where we want to bring our teams together to work collaboratively, think about potential scenarios. And this is why, for this purpose, we switched to a Miro board to allow for easier collaboration within virtual sessions. And what I'm showing you now is what our default PI planning Miro board would look like. So quite a colorful setup as we try to also make it engaging and fun to use during our events. You would be seeing different sections. At the top, we usually have a check-in. We have some fun sections for remote participants to engage in if they're joining early or during their breaks. Kudos sections for teams to share their appreciation from previous PIs, previous work together. And then, of course, when it comes to the actual outlook for the next PI, we would have a dedicated section for our program management to present priorities that would be in scope. And we don't just create additional content, but we really make use of the existing information that we already have in our Jira project. In this case, we're easily bringing via copy-paste those tickets that you saw in the backlog, or in some cases, it's even already committed into to-do within the section. So clear prioritization of epics or features, potentially some additional comments, but via the Jira cards, anyone interested can easily just jump to the issue where the detailed description and potential further information can be found. So this generally happens at the beginning of PI planning. After this, after the key scope is presented, of course, we send teams off into their respective team level breakout sessions where they plan for their capacity, break down the work, and plan it against the iteration within the PI. As you can see here, this usually happens within dedicated team level Miro boards that we link within this main board, just to ensure that anyone that comes in, if there's a requirement to align between different teams, they can easily jump into those team level breakouts from here. What is, however, definitely interesting is what happens at the end of the second day of PI planning, which is when we bring all of the teams together into this main Miro board, invite potential further stakeholders to present the results and the outcomes of PI planning. And for this purpose, very easy, quick thing that we're utilizing is these kinds of one-pager frames that have a few interesting sections, or also if you're familiar with the Scaled Agile framework, these are the key things that get presented and discussed at the second day of PI planning. So we will see committed features or epics, again, as Jira cards linked and easily visible here. Uncommitted objective, if there are any. We have the risk roam that we would discuss, where teams share their risks and how they are dealing with them. The confidence vote that shows how sure they are that they will be able to deliver their scope within the next PI. And we always invite them to share some insights, so ideally like a team picture or what it looked like throughout the days of PI planning. So this is kind of specific how we do it. If you know the framework, you know that one of the key deliverables to create transparency, to facilitate alignment is the so-called program board. So after those one-pagers on team level, we have the overall program board with, again, swim lanes for each of the teams, where the teams would then bring in their commitments or also uncommitted epics that they have planned for the upcoming PI. Again, you can see we're utilizing the Jira cards, keeping the theme, easily making additional information transparent. Also, of course, one of the key elements that you can see here are the red lines connecting our Jira cards. Those lines are showing dependencies. In this case, for example, Team 2 will need contributions from Team 1 and Team 3 in order to be able to deliver. And this is something that can easily be updated. So teams would play around throughout the days of PI planning. We usually ask them to bring in a first draft version of the board, latest by end of the first day, so that we can really make sure that we're having required discussions where needed, and easily create transparency again for whoever would need it. One case that we can also have, if teams are in discussion, they don't yet have a chance to have everything in Jira, they might come in with something on a sticky note. So in this case, just as an example, we have an uncommitted deliverable, would have a rough description of what this deliverable is about that teams copy into the program board. And this is where Jira Cards integration comes in handy again. I want to just quickly demo this for you. So if I go into edit mode and click the sticky note, you will see that I have the convert to Jira issue option available. And if I click this, I get a quick input screen where I can very easily just provide key information. In this case, if I want to create an epic, I just have to give an epic, the epic name, summary. If I already want to, I can add the component of the respective team. So in this case, team number 3. So I have the key information. Maybe this is not as important as uncommitted, so maybe medium priority. And in this case, let's keep it assigned to me. I will need to do the work. Let's click Convert. And within just a few seconds, and let me enlarge this for you, you see that I was able to convert the sticky note into an actual Jira card. And not just a Jira card, but of course, an actual Jira issue. So let's jump back. I can just click and open our Jira software again, straight from this Jira card. So now we have the issue that I created within our release train Jira project. We have the summary that I gave. On the right-hand side, you can also see component is already assigned. And one of the key things that I now need to do is I will give it the fixed version to clearly identify this as in scope for the upcoming PI. And potentially, as we did this as well, we use, in this case, labels to say this is uncommitted. And this is in backlog status. We ask them to move this into to-do. So once I go back to the Kanban board, we would be able to see, I have to go down, of course, because I assigned it to team 3, that this uncommitted deliverable is now in scope. I can easily, again, once I'm there, I'll hit the quick filter for the upcoming PI. In this case, now the new PI, and would see that the deliverable that I took from the program board is now in scope and a clear to-do for the teams within the new PI. So this is what it looks like at BSH. I hope this showcase and a little demo gave you a bit of an inspiration of how you yourself can utilize Jira software together with Miro to support your own team collaboration, daily work, PI planning, whatever you want to do. And for that, all the best and happy exploring.